Hello everyone and welcome to episode 13 of POH Bother, my chunk-locked Ultimate Iron Man. So since the last episode, I've been doing a bit of skilling to get a couple more chunk unlocks here. I went to the woodcutting guild and got 70 woodcutting and 60 fire making. And I also have been doing a bit of fletching, as you can see. I'm trying to get to 65 so I can make my own used short bow so I don't have to keep that in the bag all the time. And I ended up just doing with some steel arrows, which will also be a nice little ammo upgrade over the iron arrows. But while working on fletching, I decided to make a mithril grapple so I could do those diary tasks, and I remembered one of my chunk tasks was to grapple this wall here. So if I just jump down the other side, because that side is very close to the border, ta-da, there's both the diary task, and now that's one of the chunk tasks down, because I was looking to completing those to get another couple chunk unlocks this episode. And there is also one for the Shazian Advanced course, which I'll probably go do in a minute. But first, I probably should have rolled the existing chunks I have, and I also did manage to snag this casket along the way. Actually, when I was buying these arrow tips in Catherby, there's an eclectic inkling that spawned in the shop, and then the step was to talk to the shop owner. So yeah, that was pretty serendipitous. So let's see if this has anything of note. Not really. Wasn't really expecting much from it though. But I still do have these couple chunk unlocks to get into. Okay, so for the first chunk unlock that was for 60 fire making, I get... Yes! Oh, that one's so nice to get. I don't know if I can technically go this way yet. I'll have to double check that. And this one unlocks from this side, so I'm not counting that. I think I can get up there, but this was one of the ones I was really concerned about, because one other thing I forgot to mention is that, oh, a random event. Distractions aside, I forgot to mention that I have been working at Slayer through Tears of Gothics and Lamps, and I'm just only a couple lamps away from 44, which means I'm very close to being able to start Slayer again. It's either going to be Tears of Gothics in, a few days now, or, a couple Genie lamps. And, the thing I was worried about, though, is if I did get a task that is in this dungeon, I would be stuck in Slayer again. But now that I have this dungeon, I don't think there's anything blocking me from Slayer, or at least, depending on the Slayer Master I use, of course. But I think this was the main thing that would be holding me up. Although, that said, I do want to go here real quick just to make sure I can get to this chunk, because I know there's a shortcut that requires climbing boots to go this way, and I don't have access to them till I get, over here. So if that, I need to see where that shortcut is to know if I can get into this chunk yet or not. I took a quick little detour here to complete the Shazian Advanced course for another one of the chunk tasks, and now I can also get rid of this grapple. I already did make the observatory shortcut, so there's no reason to keep it around, and I can always make another if I need it. Now I'll have to check out that Slayer dungeon chunk. So I've been checking out this chunk, and oh yeah, a fletching level. So yeah, I've been checking out this chunk, and I think this one will remain unrollable for now, just because I can walk a bit into it, but I'm pretty sure... Actually, I can just go over here real quickly and check, even though, not supposed to be in here, but yeah. I can't venture this way until I do the quest in the other region, so there's no point in unlocking this chunk just so I can walk in a few steps when the bulk of the content in this chunk is going to require me to come from the other direction. So with that in mind, we can head back to the chunk picker here and roll the final chunk, the one for 70 woodcutting, I believe, and it is... well, that's not a very good one. I'm pretty sure, similar to what I said, I might have like one place I can step on over here, but this should not be rollable until I get, the Meredith side. I can go down here, though, and access Theater of Blood, even though I, don't have the entrance to Meredith. So that is rollable. Sleep and the Nightmare is rollable, and up here is rollable. So that just added a lot more potential chunks without really giving me anything useful. And if you're unfamiliar how I get down here, there's a boat from up here down here that costs 10k every time you want to use it, unless you pay like 1,000,000 gold for unlimited access or something like that. So either way, probably not something I'm going to be using anytime soon, but maybe I'm wrong and there is something around the sleep area that will come in very handy later on. But for the time being, yeah, I think that's going to wrap up the chunk unlocks. Though, like I said, I do want to work on completing more of those chunk tasks later in the episode, so I'm sure I'll have some more chunk rolls not too far from now. For the time being, though, I think I want to wrap up fletching and try and use up these iron arrows. I'm not sure how quick that's going to be, but maybe just AFK sand crabs or something. I don't know, something I'm going to be working on over the episode, and for now I at least want to use up these arrows. So I finished fletching the steel arrows, and I decided to work on a bit of Hunter. In the last episode, I got enough levels from aerial fishing that I could come to red salamanders, and here is 70 hunter. I plan to do a bit more here, but yeah, 70 is a good place to stop for now because it's another chunk unlock. And yeah, this is pretty decent experience. I can actually go to black salamanders now, but I just don't want to deal with that because it's probably be more annoying than it's worth the death pile there. But yeah, one chunk unlocked though from 70 hunter. So if I head over to the chunk picker, my new chunk is... I mean, I know it's needed for desert treasure, but I think I'm, yeah, still way off of that one. But, I don't know. Another chunk anyway. But I think for now, I might just keep working at Hunter. But I also do need to get back to Tithe Farm. So, I don't know, something between those. Also, I still do have all the steel arrows and all the iron arrows, because I realized it's going to take a very long time to use up that many arrows, even at something like sand crabs. After much waiting, it is finally time. With that Tears of Guthix, I now have 44 Slayer, so I can equip the Boots of Brimstone and kill sulfur lizards. So yeah, I can finally get back to Slayer. Also, just to note real quick, I did end up using up the iron arrows, have the steel arrows equipped now, and I got to 78 range in the process, which is pretty notable. Range level's really getting up there. Also, while at Sandcrabs, I did get myself an easy casket, which has nothing of note. But there is one other thing I want to get real quick before going back and trying sulfur lizards. So for pretty much this whole account, I've had a few inventory slots dedicated to law runes and either dust runes or air and earth runes. And I think it's finally time I get a rune pouch to help with this. So in the background, I was trying LMS to get some points for a rune pouch, and turns out I kind of like LMS. I don't know, I did not expect to like it, but I started playing it and I kind of enjoyed it, so I got way more points than I needed for a rune pouch. It's only 75 points, and it's down here. There we go. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure the points will come in handy for other stuff in the future. Still have 41 left over, and I don't know, I might be back here in the future even just to play a few more games, just because it would be kind of cool getting some of the cosmetics on here, or even more of the capes. Also, yes, I do have the 1-tier wind cape, which is a collection log slot. I don't know, probably won't use it much. Although it does look pretty nice of Void, I will say. And I think I could put it in the player-owned house, so I'll probably just do that. But yeah, now I have a rune pouch. At first, I wasn't going to get a rune pouch because I didn't know how it worked for UIM death. But if I death pile, it will just drop on the floor. So it's not deleted on death. And now I can store my nature runes, so if I just grab a fire staff, I can out stuff, which will probably be useful during the Slayer grind, as well as saving one inventory spot for the law runes, or, you know, for my teleports. So yeah, it should mean this inventory gets a little more cleaned up now. Aside from that, I haven't actually been considering getting rid of the longsword and shield, because I do have the dragon spear in here, which is kinda better. But for the time being, I'm going to hold on to these and see how they work with Slayer. But, I don't know, I'm not sure how I'm going to go kill the sulfur lizards. I'm probably going to switch over to my melee gear and see how that goes. So I have spent the last few days working on Slayer, and it's been going pretty well. I've been doing Spria, the Taskmaster and Draenor, just to boost task, and then doing Knee for my 9th task, or 10th task, and I now completed 50 tasks for 180 points, having over 400 in total, so I feel like I have enough points saved up now that I don't really need to worry about, you know, getting stuck on something, because there are a couple tasks with Neve that I couldn't do, which is why I wanted to use Spria, because her task I could do every one of them, even though some of them were not as fun to do. But yeah, and in the process, I got to 52 Slayer, which gives me a chunk unlock for 50 Slayer, but still not really... I mean, I did get Blood Velds, but not too many notable unlocks. I mean, Brynards would be nice, but I don't have the area for that yet. But I'm working towards, you know, 55, which would be the Broad equipment, and also means I could even go for the Leaf Sword if I wanted. Don't really have a lot of plans to go for that, but it would be cool to get to some of these monsters and hopefully also be able to make a bit more money. Speaking of which, I did actually get a decent bit of money from the stuff here, or mainly from alching stuff from Greater Demons. And I also did manage to get a medium clue and finish it. I got it actually towards the start of my grind, and let's just open it now, and it is just alchemos. It would have been a little annoying if it actually was like Ranger Boots or Spiked Manacles, because that would have meant I did the entire Slayer grind, or at least a bunch of Slayer grinding, without the boot upgrade that was in my inventory the whole time. And also did get a hard clue here that I'm going to attempt after this. But yeah, first though, I want to see what my chunk unlock is, because I have the one chunk from 50 Slayer. So we head over to the chunk picker, which has a slightly different theme now. It's a new option that just came out. But the chunk I get for 50 Slayer is 2 gig. You know, I'm not mad about this one. I'm not mad about this one. The only problem is I can't do Zolgar Flush Ears. Like, I have all the chunks, but I'm pretty sure it requires me to do Jungle Potion, which requires me to have Druidic Ritual, so not useful yet, but it isn't terrible to have this region unlocked, because I think there is a, well, one down here is a teak tree. I still don't have a teak tree, but I don't know. It also does mean if I do need to, you know, go between these areas, I can use this side path now, instead of having to go this way around. So, I don't know, not that useful. But I think I am going to keep working at Slayer, but now I think I'm going to do Knee for my primary task, and then Konar for my 10th task, because I have enough points built up that, actually, what I want to do, just to go over my plan a little better, is I want to use these points I got to unlock Bigger and Badder and a Bloodveld extension, so hopefully I can maybe get some Bloodveld Superiors, and then, yeah, I would like to work towards broader fletching, but I can't even use broad arrows with a U bow, so I don't know, maybe this hard clue will change that. And yeah, I want to try doing Konar for my 10th task just to get the extra points and also the keys. There are some Konar tasks I can't do, but I'm planning to use my blocks on trolls because I actually have no trolls in any of my regions. I don't know how. But especially for Konar, that'd be a very bad task because there's a lot of troll locations and I have access to none of them. And then the other block, we either go to Iron or Steel Dragons, with the other one just being a skip because I don't think I can kill those, or at least not effectively. So yeah, well, I'm going to do this clue, or at least try to do this clue if I can, and then see what Neve gives me. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that hard clue, and Neve gave me Hellhounds, but here is 80 ranged, so a lot of cool gear that I'm not anywhere close to getting, and also one more chunk unlock. And also, you might be thinking, well, at least with Hellhounds you'll get some hard clues, right? I'm nearly done a task of 185 Hellhounds. I haven't got a single hard clue. It wasn't just I didn't get hard clues I could do. I haven't even got a hard clue drop all tasks. They're 1 in 64. I don't understand how I didn't get a one either. But let's just roll the chunk and hopefully get something good. And yes, finally, Herblore. Oh my god, this is such a big thing for the account because, well, I think there's a few quests. Witch's House, I think some other ones needed it. I think I can do Recruitment Drive right away too, because once I do Druidic Ritual, I can do Recruitment Drive, I can get Initiate Armor. This is one of the big unlocks I've been waiting so long for. Also, I'm not sure why that didn't auto-select that as an unlockable chunk. Did I turn that off? I can't remember anymore. But yeah, I finally got Taverley, or North Taverley. This unlocks so much content, it means I can finally do Herblore, use all these herbs I have in my bag here. So, there are all these herbs. There we go. So, yeah, no, I have to review everything this unlocks, but, yeah, this will change a lot, so I'll probably take a break from Slayer and, start working on that now. 30 minutes until a 6-hour log. Well, it looks like I've been very productive today. Anyway, so, to start off all the Taverley stuff, yeah, I first have Witch's House here, which gives me 1 chunk unlock for the quest, and the first quest I did in a while, it feels like. I don't know, I remember it's been at 60 quests for a good bit. And if I run up here to talk to Cake Mix, I can complete Druidic Ritual. Like I was saying, I can complete Druidic Ritual, which gives actually a lot of quest points, but more importantly, I now can start training Herblore. So I was looking into it. Oh, also total level milestone, and also another chunk unlock for that quest. So yeah, 2 chunk unlocks from quests, and yeah, finally can start training Herblore. I definitely should be able to hit 1,500 total this episode. I was kind of hoping I would, but now that I can use up all these herbs and, you know, I'm aiming to try and get for 40 Herblore. I think that should be doable, and I also still do have a recruitment drive I can go do, or at least I think I should be able to do that. So, yeah, and, I don't know, I also was looking over the other things. Aside from Witch's House, Druidic Ritual, and Recruitment Drive, when I get 12 Herblore, I can do the Kebos and Karen Easy Diary, I believe. There might be something I'm missing, but I'm pretty sure that's all I need. Also, I can do Grim Tales, but needs 52 Herblore, which I don't think I have bagged quite yet. But that's something else in the future. And of course, there's a lot of other chunks and a lot of other quests that need Herblore, like Dig Site and Jungle Potion. I can't do them yet because of chunks, but well, maybe that will actually change right now. So we hop over to the chunk picker here. I forgot to unlock it. As I was saying, we hop over to the chunk picker here. I can roll 1 chunk for Witch's House, which is Okay, not very useful. This one's unlockable for the reason it has, I think it features a stash unit in it. It's not just empty, it actually has something of value. At least I can build that stash unit now, but yeah, not really that big of a deal. The clue step actually was right below where the stash unit is, you were wondering. So yeah, and now for Druidic Ritual, I get... actually not too upset about that. I mean, of course, South Rock would have been crazy, but yeah, it was weird having this one chunk of wilderness not unlocked when I had everything around it, so at least it's opening up a little more of the map. It's looking pretty good now, especially now that I have here, and I don't know, I have a lot more chunks I can start rolling soon because of all the quest diaries and whatnot, of course all the herblore levels as well. So chances are there's going to be a few more chunks this episode still, and hopefully I can get something else that will let me get even more chunks more easily. So it turns out when I went to update my notes after that clip, I realized that the chunk I just rolled for completing Druidic Ritual was actually my 250th chunk unlock, because there's 16 ocean chunks and 16 free or 14 free unlocks. So it's actually 250 total chunks I have unlocked, including my starting chunk. So yeah, I don't know, I think that's kind of a notable milestone and kind of fitting that it was the Taverley chunk and herblore that did it. So I went ahead and completed a recruitment drive, and I think I got my outfit looking like it's supposed to again. And yeah, that's another quest down and another chunk unlock, and in the process it gave me herblore experience, which got me 10 herblore for another chunk unlock. And also, I did get initiate armor for the costume room, but just to note real quick, yeah, originally this was going to be one of my item goals, but while I was revising it in the past, I ended up removing it because I don't want item goals to just be the same as quest or level unlocks. Because if I made initiate an item goal, it's pretty much you get one chunk unlock for complete recruitment drive and then just another for buying initiate. So it's not really anything I have to go out of my way or get or anything really challenging. I still have proselyte on there, and that is kind of the same thing, but I feel like proselyte's a lot more of a milestone, and I don't know. But I would try to remove ones that are just complete a quest, then just get this free item and another chunk unlock for that. Anyway, so yeah, and as you can see, I have my inventory all set up to start working on herblore. But yeah, first a couple chunk unlocks. So the chunk unlock for recruitment drive is... Ooh, Battlefront. If I remember, I think this does mean I can now do Ascent of Arceus, because I need to get to the grave here for that quest, and that's what was holding me up. So I should be able to do that quest now, which is pretty neat. And the chunk unlock for 10 herblore is... Ooh... Musa Point. Or south of Musa Point. I don't know. I mean, I get it to the chunk on this side. I don't think I can cross the river yet. There's the fairy ring there, but I don't have fairy rings. So I have to wait till I get this chunk. But it does mean I'm now working my way towards the shipyard, which is going to be pretty big. And also I think there's a clue step here. That's one of the things that was notable, but can't really get to that side of it yet. But definitely making some progress to areas I've been wanting to get to. So, yeah, but now I think I'm going to start working on training herblore. It's going to be quite the grind, but I don't know, hopefully I can manage well enough. I'm going to have to be slaying a bunch of unicorns, and not sure how I'm going to get the rest of the Limport routes, but I don't know, I'll figure that out later. So I've been grinding out herblore here at the GE, and I've hit a few notable milestones. As you can see, I just got 30 herblore, and in addition, I got 1,500 total level. So now it's a total of 3 chunk unlocks. So I still plan to do a bit more herblore. I probably can hit 40, but yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to run a bit low on herbs, so I figured it would be a good time to check in and roll a couple more chunks. If you wanted to see how things are going, yeah, I have this many attack potion doses, and most of strength in here. Still need to get through the Marintils and work on these as well. Though ideally, I kind of almost want to save the Horrorlanders till I can get combat potions, because it will be a lot easier if I can note the Desert Goat Horns too with the Desert Diary. But I think I'm still a good ways off being able to do that. I don't know, I'll have to double check and see what I'm missing. But maybe these chunk rolls could even give me some of the things I'm missing. So the first chunk roll for 20 herblore is... Okay, I think that is Watchtower now. I'm just getting all the quests now. Yeah, I think that's the one I need for Watchtower. I don't know there's anything too notable. There is another location Konar can assign blue dragons, so that's something. Now for 30 herblore is... Ooh. There's something down here. I know there... Well, of course there's the nightmare. I think there was a clue step down here, which is why I was remembering something here. There is also the Chaos Druids here, but I have Yanil, which is probably going to be a better location. But another chunk there, and now for 1,500 total, I do want the roll 2 and pick 1. So, center it up here again. So the roll 2 are... Why is it always a wilderness chunk? I never want to pick the wilderness chunk. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a reason not to pick this. It's Swamp Lizards. I think that might be needed for the Mauritania Diary even. Don't think it shows diary tasks on here. But I know this is needed for Desert Treasure, which is the other reason I picked it. And yeah, I don't think you can get to this chunk from here, though. I think that's all blocked. So you have to come from this side. But, I don't know. A few decent chunk unlocks, nothing too major, but, well, I now have a lot more chunks I can be doing, and I have Ascent of Archaeus and Watchtower as well for another 2 chunks. So, yeah. But I'm going to keep working at Herblore and see if I can use up most of my herbs here. I got so caught up in training Herblore that I forgot I could now do the Quest Easy Diary. So yeah, here is that completed now, which is actually a pretty notable reward because even for the easy, it gets me a 2% chance to catch an additional fish, which I believe does apply to minnows, so that'll actually probably come in handy. Also, the teleports could come in handy, but the rest doesn't seem that useful right now. But the other reason I wanted to do this is because I'd get an antique lamp and I can put it into Herblore, which, well, gets me 35, but this also means now I can boost up a Greenman's Ale to make combat potions, so I don't have to waste my Horrorlanders on energy potions. I could just make combat. That said, I don't think I can do the Desert Diary anytime soon. It just needs too many chunks I don't have, like, I don't have Narda, I can't get to soften him right now, and don't have the agility pyramid, so that's really gonna have to wait. But I don't know, I was finished making all the antipoisons, and it wasn't too bad to just have like 9 potions in my inventory and then mix in the secondaries as I got them, and then just bring 9 secondaries back to make more potions. So I'll probably do a similar method and use up the Horrorlanders, although I also need to now boost to make the potion, which might make it a little harder. But I also might be able to get the level. Yeah, it's only a 1k experience, so I could also farm more Limpwort roots, which is what I was working on to use up the Terramins, so I can get 36, which will allow me to make it without needing to use Greenman's Ale, which will probably be what I go for. Well, I did say I was caught up in training Herblore, and I got so caught up in the last clip talking about it that I forgot I have a chunk to roll. So, yeah, the chunk for doing the Quest Easy Diary is the Wilderness chunk I had in the roll 2 earlier and decided not to pick. Well, at least it's out of the way now. I think this is Callisto, though, right? No, I think Callisto's technically up there then, but it's right between Callisto and Vedion, and Venenatis down here, so if I ever am in the wilderness in the future, it's probably going to be a little easier to get around because of that, but not that useful of a chunk to have. But yeah, now I'm going to go back to that Herblore stuff I was talking about. I finished using up all my herbs, and now my inventory is nice and cleared out, and so is my looting bag. Well, not really cleared out, but I have all the herbs now in potions and 1-dose stacks, because that's how I mix them up here. I might switch some into 4-dose if I'm going to be using them, just so I don't have to, you know, mix the 1-dose to 4-dose and then drop the vials. But yeah, I'm really happy with how things have turned out. I have a bunch of attack and strength potions, which I'll probably use at like sand crabs or just kind of casual trading and then drop them when I no longer need them. I have combat potions, which is what I'll probably be using for more like Slayer or Balsing or stuff like that, just to save the inventory spot. A decent amount of prayer potions, though I would like to get that number up a bit more in the future, and some antipoisons in case that comes up. And all this has... Oh, I still have leftover Terramins just because I don't have the ability to make Serum 207 yet, and I don't have enough Limpwort roots, so I decided just to bag them for now and revisit later. And all that has gotten me to 42 Herblore, so just a few levels off being able to make super attacks, but I don't have the Rits for it yet anyway. And honestly, I was considering it probably wouldn't be super worth it for super attacks right now, just because I'd lose an extra inventory slot over the combat potion, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be that huge of a DPS increase at some of the things I was looking at. But when I get super strength, it'll probably be a lot more worth it to bring super attack and strength. Either way, but I would like to start working towards super attacks in the nearish future. But more importantly, 40 Herblore is another milestone unlock for level 40 in the skill. So yeah, 1 chunk unlock for 40 Herblore, and it is... Well, at least I'm getting some of these chunks out of the way. I forgot I didn't even have that one. I think last time I got like up here or something. Anyway, but Oh well, it's just another not so useful chunk out of the way, but the map is really starting to open up. Besides a few of these chunks like here I'm missing, you know, and even a lot of the coastline. So I'm not sure what I'm actually going to get up to now. I still do have those couple quests I can be working on. And I still do have those grinds I was working on previously. I still need to get back to Tithe Farm and also Hunter. But I don't know. I just spent all that time doing herb lore. It really shifted up my plans for this episode. And now I'll see what I feel like getting up to next. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do next, so I figured I just would knock out this quest. And that's one more quest down and one more chunk unlock. So yeah. Also, the favor certificate that doesn't do anything, although I do get the new teleport in the book, which I think I can just pick up anytime from Veos. So yeah, the chunk unlocked for that quest is the PvP arena. This map's a little outdated. I know there's some more stuff since it did get reworked, although I don't think it has much use. Also, one thing I'm a little unsure of how to handle is, technically there's a clue step back here, but I need to unlock, need to unlock this chunk to get to it. So I think I'm probably going to wait to come from the haunted or abandoned mine side for the haunted mine, just because there's really nothing in these chunks besides that one clue step there. So I'm going to hold off on making these rollable until I come down this way. But yeah, I don't know. I might go now and try and complete the watchtower, but I'm just a little unsure of which grind I want to start working on. Instead of returning to one of those previous grinds or completing Watchtower, I decided to do something different. So thieving has been a skill that I've been meaning to train for a while. It's just it can be a little spam clicky and hard on my wrists and hands at times, so I want to try a few different methods. The first is I did go and try blackjacking, because they did change some of the RuneLake plugin stuff a while back so you can left-click pickpocket, and it wasn't that bad. But while I was there, I also got my thieving level up enough that I could come try these stone chests in the Lizardman Temple. And these are actually not that bad. I mean, they're not nearly as good of experience as blackjacking, but still enough for me to get 70 here. And the other reason is they do give, you know, the gemstones, the Zerican fabric, but it also gives you a chance of medium clues. So the other reason I wanted to come here was to try and get medium clues. I opened nearly 1,000 chests, and I only got 5 clues, 3 of which I was able to complete. It's supposed to be 1 in 100, so I'm way under rate here. But hopefully in some of these caskets, I might be able to get something useful. So let's see, the first one, nothing. Second one, nothing. And third one, man, I just have like no luck with medium clues. I'm pretty sure the only unique I got was on my first medium clue, and it was the mithril plate body I had in my looting bag for ages. I think since then I haven't got anything. Oh well. The quest for some of those fancy boots will have to wait for another time. But at least I do have the one chunk unlock for, there we go. The one chunk unlock for 70 thieving to end off the episode with. So I head over to the chunk picker. I get, well, at least I'm getting these not so great chunks out of the way. I don't think this goes anywhere. I know there's some like lizardmen down here. Yes, just some lizardmen. I already could do the clue step because it's actually on this side, but I can't go this way until I unlock this chunk to work my way around to get to Mount Quitamortem. So well, at least it's a chunk to end off the episode, just not a very good one. But I don't know. In the next episode, though, there's a bunch of things I do want to work on, and I'm really excited to keep working on this account and keep working to the other goals. So yeah, and maybe I can you know, use up some of these potions training and maybe get some more medium caskets as well. Hopefully. I don't know, we'll see. Like I said, a lot of things I want to be working on, a lot of things I need to start doing. So yeah, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I made a ton of progress, you know, finally unlocked herb lore and resumed Slayer, and I don't know, just so much stuff has been happening with this account lately. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Until next time, goodbye.